What's up, Pursuit Nation? It's your president, KHG59 Gaming, and today we are here with the MLP Season 3 Draft Analysis. So, as you may have saw a couple weeks ago, we lost the championships to Killer Oski, and the league has started right back up with a 24-man draft with a lot of new coaches this season, and we finished drafting a couple days ago, and I want to share my team before I post my Week 1 battle later in the week. So, with my team, I expected to get sniped a lot, and I did, of course. And I'll talk about all the snipes, the ones that matter and the ones that didn't. So I knew going into this league I wanted a good team based around Mega Diancie and having a good team to support around it and having an all-around well-balanced team. So I get 19th pick. I'm scared that I'm not going to get Mega Diancie, but I do. Mega Diancie is absolutely incredible mom. 160 on both offenses is great, even though I'll be using that special side a lot more. The physical side will just be running Diamond Storm. That's it. Mega Diancie is our team captain. Rock and Fairy typing. It gets all. Those are the moves I'll mainly run on it. We'll see Rocks, Heal Bell. We'll see Power Gem and Diamond Storm, both rock stabs. Moonblast, it's main source of power aside from Diamond Storm, and then Earth Power is his most prominently known coverage. It also gets Calm Mind. I didn't put it on there. It also gets Rock Polish, but I don't think I'll be using that too much. And then it also gets Hidden Power, so it runs Hidden Power quite often. So yeah, and then Magic Bounce ability, absolutely wonderful. I love this Pokemon. It does struggle with steel types like Skarmory and Celesteela, so I have to keep that in the back of my mind, having good ways to deal with them on this team. I actually face a Celesteela Week 1 in, I want to say, 3 hours from when I'm recording this. Yeah, Mega Diancie is decent bulk, too. It's not as bulky as its normal variant, but I still like it. And then it's nicknamed K Jewelers, every kiss begins with K, blah blah blah. What else did I want to say? Sorry, I'm just texting. Anyway, you didn't deserve it. So, Mega Diancie, I get that. So it comes back to me, and I want to keep going with my Dragon Fairy Steel Core. So I'm gonna grab the one Tier 1 Dragon left that hasn't been taken, because at this point I know Zygarde's been taken. I know Dragonite just got taken. I'm sure Salamence was taken. I'm not really so sure about that, but I didn't really want Ment. So what I went with was Latias. Latias is an incredible Pokemon. It's not as good as its Mega counterpart, but regular Latias is still amazing to me. It's going to be one of my Z users, so I have to get that out of the way. In this league, we picked 3 Z users, one of which has to be Tier 4 or Tier 5. But as you will see, 2 of mine are Tier 4/Tier 5, because I don't have the best Z users on this team. Obviously, you see Latias in front of you with a Z next to it right here, but whatever. So what makes Latias tick? A lot of different things. It's access to Calm Mind, its main setup move. It gets 2 reliable recovery moves. I mean, like, it doesn't matter which one you use. Gets Healing Wish, which is nice support for, like, it's just good for general team support. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I was gonna, if that was Latios, I would put Memento on there and it would be Z Memento, but it's not Latios. It gets Defog, so I have my first form of hazard removal, which I find very important. Set Trick, we get Latios gets a Trick, so that's a nice little move I can run on Choice Scarf sets if I don't need to run any move. It gets main psychic stat, Dragon Pulse, and it gets other covers like Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Surf, things of that nature. So Latias is the Levitate ability. It's immune to ground type moves. Good, nice and good support for Diancie. Latias is weak to like Choice Scarf knockoffs from Crocodile, which I also face week 1. Facing a lot of annoying Pokemon week 1. Damn it, killer. Anyway, so yeah, Diancie can cover Latias relatively well. It can cover Dark and Bug weaknesses. It can cover its Dragon weakness. Not defensively, but offensively, it can check Ice types. And then the support that Latias brings for Diancie is Grass and Water Resist. And then yeah, I'm getting so sidetracked. This is so addicting on my phone. Anyway, so that's Latias. So we go round 2. We go back up to the wheel in round 3. I know I really wanted Magnezone to deal with Celesteela and Skarmory because that's something. Steel types are a bane for these two to deal with. So really wanted Magnezone, but it got first round 3 pick. Freaking Inkay takes Magnezone, Tyranitar and Magnezone, and now my Magnezone is gone. I'm like, shoot. I can't get a good steel type now. I was very worried about steel types because basically all the tier 1 steel types were gone. Like Jirachi was gone, Celesteela was obviously gone, Skarmory I think was gone at this point. Now I was worried about that, but I was also worried about steel resists for Diancie because that's something I obviously need for my team. And I'd also like something that was covered by, something with a weakness that was covered by either one of those two, with Latias or Diancie. So I went with Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash I wanted to use for the longest time, but it got sniped for me like 4 times now. But I finally got it in, ironically, a 24-man draft. So Rotom Wash, even though its base stats aren't that bulky, it can be very bulky. That electric water typing with the levitate ability works really well. I mean, like, Zygarde's going to rip my team in half, no question about it. But I'll face that issue when it comes to me. Mono, if you bring Zygarde, I swear. Alright, so, Rotom Wash has the levitate ability, very useful ability. And then its nickname Sears because it's a washing machine, appliance stores, wahaha. And then some of the moves it gets Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split for recovery. It gets Toxic and Thunder Wave for status. It gets Volt Switch, my first form of momentum, and then Main Stab and Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt. It's also my second Defogger, which getting 2 Defoggers in the first 3 picks is absolutely great, in my opinion. So next comes round 4, and I still feel that I should keep going with my cores. They're all going to be done by round 6, spoiler alert. So, yeah, so I was at this point in the draft, and my primary water type also got taken. I wanted Keldeo as an offensive core with Mega Diancie. It would have been really, really nice to deal with steel types, but I couldn't get it. But I have Rotom Wash on the defensive, and it can be offensive on that side. So I want another thing that would also be offensive and or defensive, and that brought me to Arcanine. Arcanine can be super duper bulky on that physical side with Will-O-Wisp and Morning Sun. It can be, it can check a decent amount of physical attackers, such as it can deal with Celesteela, provided I can live EQ. This thing can deal with Scarm along with Rotom. It's also nice. But Arcanine can also be offensive. As you can see, it's Flare Blitz's main stab. You can get Wild Charge. You can get Close Combat. Close Combat's really there for just like Heatran. And then he also gets Natural Gift. That's I think should be like a main move on everything because it's just can be any type. And then I kind of ran out of moves to put there, so I put Flame Charge. That's terrible though. And also the 95 speed is decent for something that can be fairly bulky. Fun fact, it's my first thing with 3 abilities. The Intimidate is I'm going to be running most of the time. I can run Flash Fire if I'm really worried about like V-Create, Victini, spamming moves. And then Marmaduke is just a dog from a movie, so that's just what I thought of the nickname. So round 5 comes, and I still don't have a Steel type. So now I'm looking in tier 3 for my Steel type, and the only ones I have my eye on are like, if I got Silvally, I'll get all the typings. I could get Registeel or do Blade, either one of those two, but I saw that my team lacked Stealth Rocks. Yes, I know Diancie's there, but like I wanted like a defensive Stealth Rock setter. Because I want a mix of both. Like, I have my offensive Rock Setter in Diancie, and I'd like my defensive, so that's why I went with Registeel in the end. So, Registeel is a very, very bulky Pokemon. 150 in both base defenses. Yeah. It doesn't run the widest move pool, but I'm honestly okay with that because it's just really bulky. Its nickname is Rob after the robot operating system, because Registeel's a robot. It's Steel Robot, and then Rob is just a NES accessory and the best Mario Kart DS character. Anyway, so Registeel does get Stealth Rocks. Very happy that I picked this up. It will run Iron Head, Seismic Toss, Toxic T-Wave, and then Curse. I just slapped on there because Registeel doesn't run too many other moves. It could run like Earthquake, but that's pretty much it. So now I got my Steel. The only thing I need left to complete my course is a Grass type, and I'm in the bulky Grass types in tier 3, and I did not get sniped on this. And this may seem a little early, round 6 for this pick, but I went with Delmise. Good thing I picked it. Sparks the God right after me was going to pick this Pokemon, so I got Delmise. It's a fairly bulky Pokemon. It's kind of slow, but it also has 131 attack. That's what I absolutely love about this Pokemon. So we called Louisian a fast after Popeyes, and Popeyes a sailor, and sailors are associated with boats. Boats are associated with anchors. That's confusing as hell. Never make me say that again. Okay, so Delmise can be defensive. It gets Synthesis, Pain Split, and Rapid Spin. That's another reason I wanted it. I wanted Rapid Spin on my team. The ability Steelworker powers up moves by 1.5, so Anchor Shot's going to be boosted from that. Main Stab and Power Weapon Shadow Claw gets Earthquake, and then Knock Off and Rock Slide for coverage. So that's all I have for gutting for Delmise. So now I realize that I've completed my cores. I got my DFS in Mega Diancie, Lottie, Registeel, and then my Firewater Grass and Arcanine, Rotom, and Delmise. So I wanted to fill some more typings, and felt like one typing I still have a little bit of trouble with is Ground, especially Zygarde when factoring Rotom and Latias being hit by 1,000 arrows. So what I wanted to do is have like a more offensive check to offensive ground types, and that's why I went with Sneasel. So, Happy Meal to Sneasel. That nickname is just straight up dumb. I don't know where it came from. I have 2 McDonald's-themed nicknames, and that I'll explain later. I gotta play tanks. No, I don't. Okay. So, Sneasel abilities, I mean, it just uses Inner Focus or Keen Eye, really. It doesn't use much else. Its Ice Dark typing does make it 4 times weak to fighting. And Diancie are my 2 4 times weaknesses, but fighting I'm going to cover a lot more with these later picks. Ice School, Crash, and Knockoff for standard Stab. It gets Ice Shard for priority. It gets Pursuit if I want to trap things like Mega Lotties or Latios or Blacephalon, things of that nature. It gets Fake Out for more priority, but I prefer Ice Shard. Low Kick for other dark types or just bulky types in general. Low Kick's mainly, I think, for Tyranitar, which I do face Mega Tyranitar. I don't. Oh wait, no, I face both Tyranitars. I face Mega Tyranitar when I play Knots, and regular Tyranitar against Inkay. Poison Jab strictly there for Finny, and then it gets SD, which I've never seen an SD Sneasel Revile once in my life, but it's my Z user, so we're gonna make it work. So, moving into round 8, this next pick was an absolute steal, but I feel like it was very good for my team with Conkeldurr. I didn't have a fighting type yet, and with a 24-man team, literally every tier 1 got drafted, including Chansey, I believe. So, Conkeldurr is like a bulky offensive typing, so, no, not a bulky offensive type. I should really have a script. And those are Sneasel stats on there, but that should be like 145, and this should be a lot higher. God, I should have checked this. So anyway, 3 great abilities in Guts, Iron Fist, and Sheer Force. I'll most likely be using Guts most of the time. Too Strong for Conk, for his nickname. Drain Punch against Mach Punch for priority. Elemental Punches, EQ, Poison Jab, Knockoff. It gets a really nice plethora of coverage. I put Rock Tomb there as more for attack, but it also does get Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Give me a second, I have to remember this. So I see that I don't have a normal type yet. So I go for Exploud is next? No, Mudsdale's next. Okay. Yeah, Exploud's next. So I went for Mudsdale because I didn't have a ground type yet. Mudsdale is incredibly physically bulky. So it has 100, and the stamina boosting it every time. I nicknamed it Muhlenberg after the college that my sister goes to. So, yeah, and then we got Stealth Rocks. It's another Stealth Rocks, defensive Stealth Rocks, and then Edgequake, Close Combat, Heavy Slam. It doesn't run too many other moves. I mean, it'll run Toxic, but I kind of stopped caring about this presentation at this point. As you saw, Conk had the wrong stats. Now we get to Exploud. Thank God. So, Exploud is an extreme wall breaker, which I think my team could really use. With choice specs, this thing can just annihilate teams. You won't have switch into Boom Burst when paired with that Scrappy ability. Nicknamed it Lee because Lee 4 Lee is like the coolest guy I've ever met in Draft League format. He's the head of the CBL, and he also plays in our B League, which I have not uploaded because it's almost kind of dead. So, yeah, rip. So its main coverage, it does get stuff to hit steel types, so it doesn't get walled by that, thank goodness. It gets Fire Blast and Focus Blast, whichever one I want to miss, I can choose. Get Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Surf, and Extra Sensory, just some extra coverage, I guess. Then we get to these last 2 picks. They were just kind of fillers. I didn't really need anything else. I wanted a poison type, so I went with Swalot. Honestly, it's kind of... It can be bulky if I really build it correctly. Gets some good coverage. It gets recovery and Giga Dream. I mean, that's his only form of recovery besides leftovers, but whatever. Gets Ice Beam, and then it gets Elemental Punches, EQ, Shadow Ball, just some stuff. Nicknamed it Grimace after that blob from McDonald's in the old days before it got ruined. More, but and then the last one finally is Unpheasant, my last Z user. Unpheasant is really, really underrated because Z Tailwind is absolutely broken. Because boosting speed by 2, boosting crits, and with super luck, and paired with moves like what's it called? Aerial Ace in return, even though it gets Aerial Ace for its flying stab instead of Brave Bird, which I don't really like. I'm fine with it. It also gets like Steel Wing and Night Slash. Night Slash is neat for Bronzong, which I do have to play. Defog, it gets Defog if I really want to use it, and Hypnosis and U-Turn. So that's the squad. Looking at my weakness chart, the only thing that really stands out is ground. And no, I don't have a 4/5 weakness to ground before you get sassy with me. I put 4 there, and I put 5 including Rotom because Zygarde's in play. So yeah, I have 3 ground immunities, but those can all be easily erased. In terms of other weaknesses, I feel like I'm fine. I mean, like, I have 1 ground resist and 3 immunities, so that might not be too big of a deal, but we'll see. Everything else I feel like is perfectly fine. I mean, like, nothing else concerns me that much. So that's our Pursuit squad for this season. So we play MLP Season 2 Finals rematch against Killer ASCII. I play them in like 3 hours actually, but it's not going to be uploaded for you until this weekend, of course. So I hope you like this team. You can see our schedule here. I'll see you guys in the Week 1 Team Builder. Peace out.